Andrew Pawlak, co-founder, CEO at leadpops.com. We're doing another client spotlight today. Bryan LaFlamme, LaFlamme, how do you say your last name?
I say LaFlamme, but honestly, I don't even know if that's right.
All right, let's go with LaFlamme.
Okay, don't ask anybody I went to middle school with what they said, because there's a lot of ways you can go with a flame that I did not like.
Okay, we'll go with LaFlamme. We'll play it safe. Bryan, if you want to just kind of introduce yourself, let us know kind of who you are, where you come from.
Yeah, my name's Bryan, probably LaFlamme, and we have an office with Movement Mortgage here in Tacoma, Washington. I'll be too jealous. That is the Tacoma, Washington. I was in the Army for a while. I got out and wanted to invest in real estate, and this ended up being kind of that long story short transition of being able to, walk people through such an amazing time in their life that we get to live vicariously through. You can't buy a house every day.
So how long have you been a client of leadPops? How long have you been using the solutions?
So I've been with leadPops for a few years. But I'm kind of a slow adopter, so I wasn't really using it to its full potential. I was just kind of using it as a squeeze page, and for people that I decided to send to it instead of the loan application. I don't know. I thought it was super. It could be very effective. The platform that you have built to really take the fear out of clients' minds when they're answering these questions. If it's intuitive and it doesn't really ask too specifically, but just gives kind of ranges and walks them through giving their information. And then the genius part is you don't ask for their contact info until the very end when they're already kind of committed.
Yeah, you nailed it. So there's that psychology to it. So it sounds like you kind of saw that as kind of a logical way to go about that first step with clients when you starting to engage.
Yeah, I knew it could be great. I just didn't know how I could, jump on and make it great for our business when I started.
So what did you start doing, or how did you start leveraging it in a way that started to kind of move the needle for you?
So I think the first way that I really started to see the power and how I could use it was using it as a sign-up sheet. So either at open houses or when I had events, I would use that as a sign-up sheet to get the information that I needed from those people to be able to effectively follow up with them. And I used it that way for a while. In fact, last year, we did a big booth at our state fair, which I think is maybe the biggest in the country. It's a big deal here. And we had a mortgage booth there, and it was the second time I'd done it. But the difference this time was we had the iPad set up with their leadPops logins. So that has paid dividends over and over and over again as we're able to follow up with people. They had to enter to win the prizes through these things, and then they gave all that information. And then as they're doing it, we could take notes on if they're, really looking for a mortgage or for help, or if they're just there to win the prize. And then if they're just there to win the prize, we just spam the. I'm sorry, we just spam them.
All good. Really. You're in a safe place to.
All right, good. Not really.
I gotta say.
Yeah, we don't want to work with people who don't want to work with us, so we're not. Everybody feels slimy when you get sold, and leadPops does a good job of starting the conversation from a place, I think, of trust, because like you talked about the psychology of what can I do for you? What do you need first? And then who are you? And then once I know that, then I know how to help you.
I love it. Can I get you on the phone a little bit with some loan officers?
I know, right? Well, I mean, the first couple of years I had it, I don't know how long it was. I was just paying you guys money every month because I knew it could be cool, but I didn't know how to use it. So it's probably, I'm assuming, a large portion of the people that use the service or pay for the service don't really use it, which from what I know of you in Facebook is absolutely not. You'd rather everybody get the most out of this and it be useful, the revenue aside. That I'm making assumptions about you. You may just be a dirty salesman. I don't know.
Well, yeah, 50-50. But it's like, I think a lot of tech where you only kind of scratch the surface and you're using it. Even our most successful clients, they're still probably only at about maybe 50-60% usage of it.
Right.
Very basic use of it is just plug it into your traffic. It's really that easy. A lot of people they'll put it on the receiving end of their email. So they're like, oh, I do this email newsletter every month.
Mm-hmm.
I should add a link with a good call to action to that thing I'm sending out to 700 people every month. That would be a pretty good place where I can optimize to get more results. Oh, I'm posting on social media a couple times a week. How about I just throw a call to action and a link to one of those funnels on there and give people a little bit of direction and make it really easy for them to just kind of raise their hand. And That's the idea with it, is really just to be able to make it easy for people who are not ready for a loan app, because
Hmm.
that's too big of an ask. But
Yeah.
they're thinking about maybe buying or refinancing. They want to talk to somebody, and if we can just kind of coax them out of the dark and get them to raise their hand a little bit and answer some easier questions first, and make it really easy
Yeah.
for them to do that, we just more people do it, right? We have more people to
Yeah.
talk to and more relationships.
Right. Especially that early decision point is so easy to put off
Yep.
psychologically. If it's not easy for me to do, I was interested. It's not easy. I'm moving on.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So we call it in my digital marketing world, we like to look at that as like these friction points. It's like they're all
Right.
over the place. You know, there's
Mhm.
always this friction. Like the button says apply now. Ugh,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna click on that. I'm not ready to apply for a loan. That's
Right. Because
crazy,
as
right?
lenders that are listening to this, how many people do a loan application and say, don't pull my credit yet? Or is this going to be a hard pull? Or how's it going to affect my credit? So even at that point where they're ready to do a loan application, a good percentage of people are still scared about that next step. So taking that fear away from them and being able to build a relationship well before, to where it doesn't matter if you pull their credit. Obviously, we're going to have to eventually, but getting them more comfortable with, okay, this is, it's not all the things I hear from my friends or on the news about never getting your credit pulled because you're gonna, kill your chances of getting whatever financing you can. That having that friction point well in advance allows you to build trust up until the point where they have to make that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the social security number idea, the apply now, even, you know, a lot of times you'll see these apps, they're pretty cool and they're fancy and I like them as a good service tool, but the first thing they ask you to do is like create an account. And that is
Right.
even like create an account for what? Like I
Another one, I got to remember another password.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they leave and they don't call to report it to you that, hey, you were asking a lot at the beginning. I wasn't quite ready for that. So I saw your video,
Mhm.
really good stuff. I like it. You look like you're an interesting person, but I actually clicked over here and then Zillow got me, because Zillow has a really smart, fun, interactive way of asking for my information. And I filled it out and now I'm on the phone with this guy over here. So
Yeah.
these things are kind of happening behind the scenes, and it's hard to kind of for a lot of loan officers just kind of take a step back and look at, hey, what's going on that you're not aware of that's causing
Mhm.
you to miss out on clients. And it's an expensive mistake to make, right? Like when we look at, you guys
Yeah.
make a lot of money on a loan, well, you also lose out on a whole lot when you miss a loan that you should
Yeah.
have closed.
Yeah. And I think a lot of lenders lose or don't understand that this is a long game. You're not, I mean, more power to you if everybody you meet is ready to make an application, has 740 credit and 25% down right then. But that's probably not most of our experiences. And the long game is just allowing people the freedom to be able to raise their hand without, without knowing, without feeling like they're going to be bombarded or asked a bunch of things that they're not ready for yet.
Yep. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So it's the relationship building aspect of it. It's like, hey, we don't want tech to replace you, because the more we kind of push that idea, the more you might not have a job in a, you know, who knows if it's 5 years or 10 years. I think the
Right.
really smart marketing, not marketing, but market advisors, the debt advisors, the people
Hmm.
that are really helping their clients are not going to get replaced, no matter how cool and automated the tech gets. There's always going to be that advisor role, at least,
Absolutely.
you know. I think for the foreseeable future, that's not going anywhere. So the people that are really leveraging other tools, you know, I'm a fan of some of what I see with like Mortgage Coach and MBS
Hmm.
Highway. These are tools that I think complement what we do well, because we
Absolutely.
want to get you on the phone with those people, but your conversation, your follow-up, what you
Yeah.
say when you talk to them, all that matters. You know, you
Hmm.
might give one loan officer 10 leads and he's like, oh, these leads are no good. Well, you give those same 10 leads to someone else who's a little bit maybe better and more finessed at like the sales process, and they're like, dude, I
Right.
got 3 of them, 4 of them turned
Yeah.
into something for me. And it's just a
Hmm.
matter of the follow-up, how, you know, how you're responding and conversating with those opportunities. So that's really cool. One other thing I want to come back to is what you were
Hmm.
mentioning about your using it as a sign up in a
Hmm.
registration form. That's, I love these unique things that come up in
Yeah.
these conversations with clients, because that's something I would say most people haven't even thought of a use
Yeah.
case. So you were mentioning you had it up on like an iPad.
Yeah. So our booth, we had two. Hold on, we have it in our Google Sheets. Here we go. So we have a Google Doc that we track everything with, and one of the tabs in here is fair leadPops. And we had two iPads set up. All the things you need to draw people's attention in, giveaways, TV with slides and stuff, and everything that you kind of need to draw attention, get somebody over there. And then once you get them over there, what does it matter? Are they going to fill out a bunch of paper stuff and I'm going to put that in the database? Of course not. That's never going to happen. I'm exhausted at the end of every day. It's really hard being fake nice to people for 10 hours a day and then doing a real job. But yeah, so we would make them fill this out, and a lot of people would, start filling it out and stop halfway through and be like, yeah, I don't want to answer these questions. And that's great for us too. I like people disqualifying themselves as much as I like them qualifying themselves. None of us wants to talk to people that don't want to talk to us. So I'm going to give you a reason to do this, and then I'm going to ask something of you, which is really nothing, not hard at all. If you're on this call, you've probably been through a leadPops form. It's not difficult to do. So yeah, that's what we used. And we had, 1 second. I don't have our conversion rates up right now. They're buried within this Google Doc, but we had 150 people that we added to our database that went through that leadPops form that we have a bunch of information on and a bunch of notes on to be able to help them. And that's paid dividends, like I said, it was September of last year. It's paid dividends all the way through so far and will continue to.
That's beautiful. 150 people. That's really good, man. And being able to look at, that's 150 people gave you their contact info, and the form asks for 20 pieces of information typically. So that's a whole lot of stuff you can look at and kind of figure out. Oh, this one says he's looking to buy in the next couple of months. Income $100,000. He says his credit's great. We'll see, but at least he's self-reporting that the credit looks good. We'll find out, but it's a lot of really useful information to kind of look and categorize and score the leads, right? Versus just,
just a name and number that you're going to follow up with later and add no conversation starter. Hey, it's me from the fair. Well, yeah, they saw 40 other people at 40 other booths as well if they were in there, and they bought a hot tub.
Yeah, absolutely. So that makes a big difference. So that's awesome, man. Congrats on that. That's a great success. And again, a use case that we're always trying to give people ideas. There's so many ways you could plug this stuff in. I think this is a great one. I've seen this same kind of technique apply at open houses. Loan officers that, are doing the same kind of thing, using this as a registration form, knowing, hey, putting a loan app in front of people at the open house, I might get a couple people that are ready for it, but numbers wise, how many more people could I get in if it's just like, hey, fast pre-approval, this process only takes 60 seconds or so, answer a few easy questions, we'll turn around, get back to you real fast, but something that's not as much of a commitment even as a mini loan app, is going to make that a lot easier.
And then the data points you give to your real estate partner there are incredible. Even if they never follow up with anything, the equity that you gain with somebody, because you're able to provide something to them. My experience has been, it just blows their mind, and it seems so simple, but I mean, it seems simple because you make it simple. But it just blows their mind of, instead of putting a name and number down in the normal script of, hey, my seller needs to know who's been in their house, and we want to make sure if you want to be followed up with, we can follow up with you. So just please sign into this on the sign-in sheet. The conversion rate from that is abysmal. The conversion rate from a leadPop site is much better, and then the conversion rate of winning that business partner's trust and referrals in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple cool things I've seen people do with this also. If the agent has like an app, a downloadable app to like search for houses, they'll put that on the thank you page, something like that. We're on the form. Hey, you fill out the form. Hey, and also now if you filled it out, you can download our app right on the thank you page. So as you're driving around looking at houses, you can actually use our app, and it's a lot safer than like Zillow, because first off, the property data is updated, and we're not going to be selling your information like Zillow and these other sites do. So you can kind of get in their head a little bit and also plant something on their phone now where you kind of live with them. So I've seen some of that, which has been pretty cool. So yeah, absolutely. And the other idea with that is, same solution, but arming the agent with their own lead funnel. So when they're talking to somebody, you give them their own link, and they can literally there's little short codes you can put in your phone that'll make it really easy to text the link to a funnel. And your agents are now passing those funnels out. Someone calls them about a house. awesome, let's get you pre-approved. Let me send you a quick link. You can fill it out on your phone. It's going to take you like 60 seconds. That's going to
Yeah.
connect you to my guy, Brian. So now the realtors are sending the funnels out to the people they're talking to because they don't want to be wasting their time showing houses, obviously, to people that aren't qualified.
No, and then it protects our side so much too, because one of the dangers of our business is lenders trying to be realtors and realtors trying to be lenders.
Yeah.
And it either takes the onus off of them to feel like they have to, or it takes the sword out of their hand that they were going to use to be a lender anyway. That they were going to tell people, oh, you say you have 720 credit, yeah, you can get any house you want.
Yeah, sketchy conversations you shouldn't be having, and talking about rates and things, right? Don't be doing that. Here, just text them a link. So things like setting up a real quick short link, giving that to your agent and being like, hey, anytime this comes up, you're talking to a buyer and you're like, hey, I don't even want to waste time, or I'm on my way to a showing, or I'm doing a listing presentation.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, text you a link, fill this out, do it on your phone. It takes you 60 seconds. My mortgage guy, Brian, will follow up with you. He's really quick. He usually follows up within like a couple minutes. And you just give them a little bit of coaching on how they pass that off.
Yeah.
And, you can even set it up so the lead alert goes to both of you.
Right.
So when it's like their own dedicated funnel that you give them, which is kind of, they like that. Right now it's their own thing that they can plug into their stuff as well.
Yeah, that blows their mind, just like it blew our mind when we originally started it.
Yeah, absolutely. So cool. So it sounds like you're tracking some KPIs, some, just the amount of registrations you got. That was awesome. What else? Anything as far as the big one everyone wants to know? Have you made any money? Have you closed a loan or two at least? Is it a lot? Is it a little? Like anything you can share with that is really the numbers clients always want to hear about, or people that are on the fence want to hear about. Is there an ROI on this kind of marketing? And it's not just leadPops, it's just digital marketing as a whole. I think people have been so burned by it. They're always kind of like, I spent so much money on all kinds of
Zillow.
stuff. It never, Zillow.
Yes, that's what they spent. Yeah, that Zillow made, I think, kind of paved the way to make it so much easier for companies like yourself, because they convinced people to pay thousands of dollars for leads, and that they didn't have exclusivity with. I get a call from a Zillow lead, and all of a sudden I'm working with a rate shopper because two other people called that. And I'm paying to add more stress to my life with this rate shopper. Just that, and they convinced us to pay that for a long time. And the price point that you guys come in with, we're using right now pretty heavily your guys' Facebook advertising consult service and Verse. So awesome. I'm a big fan of, get people smarter than you to do things and let them do it. So we do have some ROI. I think we've about broken even on our Facebook ads, and then leadPops cost and Verse cost. But we just started that in June, I want to say. Yeah, in June.
Okay.
So we've got, I think we have 250 or so, not a whole lot. The longer our Facebook ads are up, the more saturation they get, and the higher quality, the more leads we get and the higher quality leads that we get as Facebook kind of learns, and then we learn how to target effectively. Because I had a big fear around, I started with Facebook ads a while ago, years ago, doing it myself, and they changed so much, and my brain doesn't work that way. I don't have the ability nor the desire to sit and do that. But I do like the conversations I'm allowed to have with people who come from that. So finding you guys to be able to do that part of the service, and then a follow-up service that gets to them right away when leads come in at midnight or 2 a.m. or 3 p.m. It doesn't matter when they come in. They're contacted right away. They set an appointment up to talk to me. They have some qualifying questions outside of the leadPops. Are you working with the real estate agent right now? What do you think your credit score is? So it's not a range that they put it on the leadPops, but it dials it down even more specifically to them. When they reiterate the leadPop questions, and then they hone them in a little bit. When you have somebody on the phone or text, they hone it a little bit better. And then we just have a follow-up plan with those people. So I think it's working wonderfully, but I don't have a whole lot of insight to it because I just kind of let it work. And then we set up our own lead, lead follow-up system that we have with them once they reach us.
Okay. Tech solution, it can be a substitute, but I think Verse does it better than anybody else that I've seen. So it's been a really, really strong solution. And I think one of the bigger things we're also seeing clients doing is being able to leverage those leads that they're generating with their realtor partners, and to be
That's
able to
so
find
huge.
that, hey, we got these leads coming and this is great. These are gonna close. It takes a little bit of time for them to get there. In the meantime, we have all kinds of leads and opportunities we can start to introduce to our real estate agents, which creates a much better partnership there.
Well, and not only do you get the opportunity to set yourself apart, like everybody says they want to do, by actually being able to send referrals, not just if you run into somebody your cousin wants to buy and now they get to refer them over, but you get the choice on with whom you work as well. We get to qualify these realtors based off of whatever factors are important to us, because we all have business partners that are profitable, but kind of an emotional suck. But there's no way everybody gets along with everybody. And there's so many people in both of these industries, real estate and lending, that we have the opportunity, if we know how to grasp it, to choose with whom we work, which I think just adds so much, it adds to your life as well. It makes you happy to go to work. It makes you excited for the people that you're hanging out with and working with. And you end up kind of working with your friends. And then you get to also be a blessing to those friends. There's no strings attached when I'm working with somebody that I really like and I send them over a referral. There's not an expectation of I sent you one, you send me back. I don't work that way as a lender. If a realtor sends me a lead, I don't feel beholden to them to send one back. I feel like we're a team that's helping people. And I don't feel that way the other way too, but I definitely like working with people that I like to work with, which is, I like working with you. That's the first time that's ever been said, I'm sure. That is mind blowing, but it allows us to do that.
Yeah. But there's something there, because how many times I see loan officers venting in groups that I'm in about how they've got some agent that made them 20 grand last year, but they abuse them, they call them screaming at them when a loan falls apart because they send them some sorry to say crappy borrower or some bad lead that they set
people that aren't ready
and so that's such an important part of the job, is enjoying the people you work with and being able to kind of be more selective, because you're not feeling that God, I got to take this deal because I got to pay the bills. So I'm just
there's so much out of our control as a lender. There's so many things that have to happen in order for somebody to get money to buy a house that are out of our control. But we're the quarterback in that situation, and we take the credit when it goes well, and we have to take the blame when it goes poorly. That's just how that works. You're the captain.
The realtor takes the credit when it goes well.
I know, right?
You take the credit when it goes.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying. But I love that the fact that you can be a blessing to the people you're friends with and the people that you care about back. That's really cool the way you said that. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing all this stuff with us so far. Just on a kind of feedback note, anything as far as what maybe we could do better, product improvement, service improvements, advice to leadPops as a company, anything that comes to mind that you're like, I really wish they were doing this for me, or had this extra thing plugged into their solution? Anything that comes to mind there?
I thought, and then the thought escaped me of preparing that before this, because my style with my team and in life is I'm not a big micromanager. I believe adults are going to do their jobs and things are going to happen. But the downfall of that is I don't dig too much into the weeds of something like this, where maybe it could be improved. I don't know. I think you guys are doing amazing. And if it keeps this up and nothing improves, I'm super happy with it. But I'm not in the weeds so much. I'm following up with leads all the time. That is a delegated task a lot. And or measuring. I just get the measurements of these. I don't do the work for that. I don't. Again, I feel like you partner with people that are smarter and better than you, and you let them be smarter and better than you. So I can email you some stuff that they say and take credit for it, but I don't really know.
Now you're sounding like a realtor.
I know, right?
Cool, man.
I do tell my borrowers that when something happens, I'm like, Ashley on my team, she did all the hard work. It's a full-time job taking credit for all that. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to take credit for all that hard work she did.
Yeah. No, I get you totally. As far as the delegation and, got to focus on big picture stuff. I try to do the same, but I've got a great team who helps and kind of sets all this kind of stuff up. I get to just kind of show up and
do what we're good at and what we're passionate about, which trickles down to people that doing what they're good at and what they're passionate about. I don't think it's better or worse, one up, one down. It's just different. We need all parts of that, all spokes in that wheel to make it go around.
Yep. Well, brother, I appreciate you making some time for us today. There's a lot of cool stuff coming, even though you didn't ask for it. and you're satisfied, there's a lot of cool stuff we're rolling out over the next few months, just like
Buddy,
big changes, improvements to the
yeah,
system, new features, a lot of cool stuff that's going to have an impact on you guys in a
yeah,
really positive kind of way. So I'm excited to share that, and
that's awesome.
you will definitely be hearing about that.
I didn't ask for the cool stuff you guys did, and I love it. So just keep doing the cool stuff, and I'm sure we're going to love it. I read your Facebook posts about what you're doing, and it's incredibly impressive. And I feel like I know every word that you're writing, and maybe half of the sentences I get. So whatever you're doing it well, and I appreciate it.
Every once in a while, I just throw made up words and phrases into there and see
Yeah,
if someone's going to call me out. And I'm like,
it's all just
optimization
authority,
of
right?
the conversion of, but appreciate that, man. So
Yeah.
just signing off, Andrew Pawlak, co-founder, CEO, Client Spotlight with Bryan LaFlamme. Bryan, thank you so much for making some time for us today.